What is your take on this Kudumbashree scheme?
Can you please tell me the historical background of beating retreat ceremony?
What is the science behind swimming?
Is literacy actually playing any role in eliminating the ills against women?
Tell me, what are the benefits of having an efficient logistics sector?
May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, I'm Lieutenant Commander Surya, retired. I graduated in 2011 in computer science. Thereafter, in 2011, I joined the Indian Navy in the Short Service Commission in the logistics cadre. I served for 10 years in the Indian Navy. Thereafter, after my release in 2022, I joined JP Morgan Chase, and thereafter I also worked with Biocon Limited in Bangalore. And last year I had, not last year actually, mid-2024, I had got a resignment from my job to appear for civil services, completely dedicating myself to the preparation.
Surya, you are an achiever and you have a varied experience also, 10 years long experience of working in Indian Navy. Then followed by your exposure to private corporate world. Do you think at this stage you are a suitable candidate for the civil services with so much of knowledge you have already acquired? Do you think that you are a right candidate for the civil services?
So first of all, thank you for the encouraging words, sir. As you mentioned, sir, I have actually having a experience of around 12 years across corporate as well as government, sir. In the military experience, I got an opportunity to work in multifaceted and diverse environments, and that adaptability had held me in very good stead when I went to a corporate job where the profile is completely different and the job was more based on a flat hierarchy and based on targets and performance and resource efficiency. So I feel that with these varied experiences, I feel I'll be able to contribute more to the public services by bringing the best of both the worlds, sir.
You see, I don't know, as an outsider, we must have observed at least the work culture of a government organization, Indian bureaucracy, the great Indian bureaucracy, and that of your defense sector. What stark differences do you notice? I mean, we have the experience of working in defense, and you must have heard about the working of bureaucracy. Based on this, could you tell me at least 2 or 3 striking dissimilarities between the working culture of these two organizations?
In defense, the structure is very hierarchy driven, and it is easier to get orders passed and things done because the hierarchy is very supreme and important for the functional need of the defense forces. But wherein bureaucracy will require wider consultation, because of which delays will happen. However, consensus-based decision making is very important. So while the structure is different, the functions require those structures. So I feel this is the difference.
A computer engineer opting for a subject like anthropology, justify it.
Sir, I also have interest in literature. I have mentioned creative writing as my hobby. So I had also looked at Malayalam literature. However, I also looked at anthropology because I've had a brief stint in Andaman Nicobar Islands while serving in the Navy. So tribal anthropology is something I was drawn to. So my writing speed in Malayalam was very poor. So I found that anthropology aligns with my interest and I can express myself better also. So that's why.
Surya, tell me, I mean, Kerala, as far as women literacy is concerned, Kerala is almost at the top, isn't it? Women are doing pretty well outside Kerala also. But when you look at the culture of Kerala, you will find that women are a very distraught lot there. Why it is so?
So even though Kerala boasts of having a matrilineal tradition in the Nayak communities and such, the structure is predominantly patriarchal in Kerala also, sir. The women have an aspirational gap wherein they are highly educated but are not able to find jobs similar to that. The pay parity is also very poor in Kerala in comparison with the other states, and there is a stark difference in that as well. So the patriarchy, while it is more overt than other parts of India, it is strikingly there. The crime rates are also very high against women in Kerala, which is a matter of concern. So the patriarchal norms and low labor force participation continues to drive this kind of a situation for women in Kerala, sir.
Suppose you get selected and you become a district collector in course of time in Kerala itself, in any district of Kerala, then just now you explained to us about the plight of women. So how are you going to at least select one or two areas which are concerning for women, and your plan of action to deal with such area, to help women in those areas?
So the first one I would feel would definitely to improve the contribution of women towards economy. There are many schemes which are there for improving their entrepreneurship, especially because I feel ownership, women ownership is very important for empowering them and for making meaningful contributions to the economy. IMF chief had also said that if women participate, our GDP will grow by 27%, which is very important for the Viksit Bharat vision we have for 2047. The second, I feel, sir, the underrepresentation of women in political stage is also there, wherein Kerala only has I think one MP in the parliament, sir, which is also very low. All the state institutions should have greater representation of women, sir. That will also ensure that the state of women in the state can be improved.
One final question before I pass on to my colleague.
Sir.
What is your take on this Kudumbashree scheme?
So Kudumbashree scheme is a phenomenal scheme which has been empowering women in Kerala. More importantly, other than financial inclusion, what I find strikingly interesting about Kudumbashree is that it is being used as a tool by the government to actually eliminate a lot of issues which are there. Like even the extreme poverty ending declaration which came, Kudumbashree was a main tool for improving the nutrition, vaccination status. Even during COVID crisis, Kudumbashree was used. So it should not just be for optics. The policy should have impact and it should be mutually benefited. So women are also getting benefited. The society is also getting benefited through this.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Surya.
Thank you, sir.
Surya, you have mentioned in your draft that you participated in Nari Shakti contingent Delhi Republic Day Parade, right?
Sir.
Can you please tell me in this edition of Republic Day Parade in 2026, how the best marching contingent was decided? What was the procedure? What was the mechanism?
So I know that the best marching contingent was from the Navy, but I do not know the specific criteria based on which it was done.
No issues. Also tell me, see, the festivities of 26th January is marked by the beating retreat ceremony, which takes 3 days after 26th January, right? Can you please tell me the historical background of beating retreat ceremony?
So it is a colonial ceremony wherein the drums used to be beaten for the soldiers to retreat from their post or to stop fighting. So it marks the culmination of a particular event. That is why beating retreat ceremony is done to mark the culmination of the Republic Day celebrations.
Also, can you enlighten us with the difference between hosting of a flag and unfurling of flag? What is the technical difference between the two?
So I'm presently not able to.
Okay, have you been to Rashtrapati Bhavan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the dome of Rashtrapati Bhavan is having a pillar at the top of which national flag flies, right?
Sir.
So can you please tell me the different positions of the national flag denotes different things. If the national flag is flying atop the dome, what does it signify?
So on top of the dome, I'm not aware, but half mast is done for when we observe any morning.
That was not my question. Anyways, see, you must be aware about India hosting BRICS summit this year, right?
Sir.
So participating countries will be having their flags in the deliberations, right?
Sir.
So can you please tell me, since India is going to be the host, what will be the position of Indian flag when other participating countries will be there with their flags?
Sir, I know that the BRICS chairmanship is with India, so I'm assuming that it would be in the center, but I do not know for sure. I'll have to read it.
Okay, no issues. You have spent substantial part in Indian Navy, right? Can you please tell me, in the aftermath of introduction of one very particular act known by the name Prevention of Women from Sexual Harassment Act 2013. Can you please tell me what institutional arrangement were made in Indian Navy? Because it also provides a space where women are working in substantial number.
So in the Indian Navy, women are actually present in officer rank as well as below officer rank, as well as defense civilians are there, sir. For officers and the people in the military, the grievance procedure is as per the Navy Act. Therefore, the grievance cell was separately formulated for defense civilians, women. So generally, officers are constituted from the units where they are serving, and there is a liaison officer for that also who can actually channel any grievances.
No, do you know something about this internal complaints committee, about
Yes,
its composition, about its mandate?
Yes, sir. The internal complaints committee is formulated for defense civilians. I've seen that, but I do not remember the exact composition of that.
No, so my last question to you, since you have mentioned Nari Shakti contingent in your detailed application form, there was one constitutional amendment known by the name of 106 constitutional amendment. Can you please tell me the subject matter of this amendment?
So it is for the women's reservation, 33% reservation in the state as well as the parliaments.
So what is the timeline for implementation of this particular act?
Sir, this will be done after the delimitation, sir. So after the delimitation and the census.
Thank you, ma'am, please.
Hello, Surya. What, in your opinion, are the three most challenging or serious challenges faced by women in India?
Ma'am, if I can take the liberty to add on to that in terms of, I feel, ma'am, that the issues faced by women in our country are very stratified and based on their socio-economic realities, ma'am. Therefore, I think that jotting down three would be a little difficult. If I can take one moment to tell that the tribal or the marginalized women or the migrant women face issues like chronic malnutrition, sexual violence, poverty related vulnerabilities as well. But when it comes to women who are in the middle and the upper middle strata, they've struggled with labor force participation, inclusive workspaces, as well as pay parity issues, cyberbullying, etc. And when it comes to upper strata of women who are more economically and financially independent, they have to struggle with glass ceiling effect, issues of moral policing, and conforming pressure to the idealized woman image. These are the things which come to my mind, ma'am.
Okay, how does access to safe water and sanitation technology affect women's dignity and safety?
Ma'am, access to safe water is very crucial for women because even recently menstrual hygiene was declared as a fundamental right by the Supreme Court. So Supreme Court has said that it is so important that it leads to stereotyping and exclusion and taboo in the society. Therefore, access to water is very important for women to ensure that they have a dignified existence and living, ma'am.
How do border tribes influences cross-border security dynamics?
Sorry, ma'am, if you could.
How do border tribes जो influences हैं cross-border security dynamics?
Tribes, ma'am.
Right.
Ma'am, cross-border security is very important in the sense that adjoining areas of national borders, the people who live there have to have a good livelihood to be able to settle there. And if we do not have a good population, it's very difficult to administer that area properly and also ensure that proper development activities come up so that no other infiltration or salami slicing like how China does not happen. That is why government is increasingly trying to have good livelihood opportunities for tribals there by haats, mandis, etc. and also ensuring that their economic integration happens in a better way through good infrastructure, ma'am.
Okay. As you mentioned, your hobby is swimming.
Ma'am.
What is the science behind swimming?
Ma'am, the science behind swimming is buoyancy, basically. There are different types of swimming styles, and different types of swimming styles actually use different types of techniques to stay afloat.
And is there any Newton's law related to it?
Ma'am, is it the third law that once the head swing comes, then you come up?
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
How many medals have we won in Olympic in swimming?
Ma'am, India has not won any medal in
And why are
Olympics, so.
sports like swimming not given enough encouragement from India?
Ma'am, India is trying to have good infrastructure for training people in swimming, ma'am. However, it is a sport which requires long-term training. and it is not something which can be picked up very fast, and it also has a lot of anthropological aspects to it. Therefore, everybody cannot be a good swimmer as well. So there are efforts which are going, and that I think they are in the right direction, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Surya.
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Surya. You look very beautiful today. You are a woman from Kerala, and you recently spoke about the issues that women are facing in Kerala still, correct? It is still a patriarchal society. It is still facing the ills. So, is literacy actually playing any role in eliminating the ills against women?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. I would say because women are literate, the forthcomingness to report those crimes are very high in Kerala. That is also quoted as one reason why the crime rates are recorded more in Kerala, and the conviction rates are also interestingly higher in Kerala, ma'am. So I feel that with education, women are able to come against this stigma and taboo which is there. They are reporting and they are following up till the end for conviction.
Fair enough, fair enough. Kerala's growth story is a story known to all. Similarly, there is a growth story we know that China is a growth story, correct? What is the similarity between these two? One very pertinent similarity I find is the support for communism. Do you think communism is playing any role in their growth story for Kerala and China?
Ma'am, communism is actually cited as one of the reasons as well, because the state has actively led welfare and development in Kerala. Even before that, the land reforms were much better implemented in Kerala because of communism. So, in terms of that, if we see, it is antithesis because private ownership is also. So, I feel that it is a hybridized model of communism which Kerala has embraced, which I feel is giving a push to the growth story as well as labor rights.
Okay, we are often calling Kerala as God's own country. Why the term country? Is it not a state in the country?
Ma'am, this was actually popularized because of the tagline used by the Kerala tourism. So that is the reason why it had caught the imagination of people as a place which is very serene and beautiful with the Western Ghats in the backdrop.
So my question is to the Kerala government, and you will be responding on their behalf, that why is a state calling itself a country? Is it some issue of secessionism?
Ma'am, I do not feel it's an issue of secessionism. I think the tagline sounds much better, and the duty of a tagline in terms of marketing is to catch the imagination of people.
Fair enough, fair enough. Okay, recently Iran Revolutionary Guards were declared as a terrorist organization. You've been a Fauji yourself. So, do you think that one country's Fauji could be another country's terrorist? Then what is the point of being a Fauji in the first place?
Yes, ma'am. In fact, after this, Iran had also designated Chinese Navy as a terrorist, Canada
EU Navy.
Canada, yes, as a terrorist organization. So this, I feel, is a very retaliatory and an impulsive kind of measure, and does not hold place in a dialogue-based and respectful international rules-based order. So I feel that as a country, that is not the way how differences have to be sorted out.
Does India have a similar history with treating Faujis in a negative light?
I'm presently not able to recall.
Are you aware of the RIN mutiny, Royal Indian Navy mutiny?
Yes, ma'am.
So what was the case there?
Ma'am, in 1946, the Indian Navy ratings had actually led the mutiny against the British Navy officials. Basically, their grievances were more basic in nature, but later it got assimilated into the national movement.
So what was the stand of the Indian leaders? Were they supporting these mutinous individuals?
No, ma'am, they had not supported it, because a military force is a backbone of a nation and they cannot have indiscipline. Therefore, it was not supported by the mainstream leaders.
So what would brand it as indiscipline and not retaliation?
Ma'am, indiscipline stems when it is disorganized, and as I mentioned, ma'am, it started as something and ended as something. That is a problem with indiscipline, ma'am. It spreads very fast and it becomes difficult to curb. If there is a grievance, there is always a system in place to address it through proper channel, ma'am.
Okay, my last question to you, a beach you would suggest for all of us to go in Kerala?
Ma'am, one of the beaches which got blue flag certification is Kapat Beach, ma'am. So the facilities would be much better.
We
there,
should
ma'am.
go to Kapat. Thank you,
Yes, ma'am.
Surya.
Thank you, ma'am.
Surya,
Ma'am.
you've done your master's in logistics management.
Yes.
Can you tell me, as a percentage of GDP, what is the cost of logistics in India?
Ma'am, the cost of logistics in India was earlier higher at 14%, but now, as per the recent DPIIT figures, it has come close to the global average of 7 to 8%. I think 7.9% to be precise, ma'am.
All right. Tell me, what are the benefits of having an efficient logistics sector?
Ma'am, if we have an efficient logistics sector, ma'am, first thing is that the products become more competitive. It would be easier for our products to find markets. Similarly, if logistics is there, the perishability of things, especially agricultural produce, is a big issue. So next issue is that integration with markets, ma'am, and also the recent logistics performance, the policy, national logistics policy had ensured that we have cluster-based industries, we have container freight stations, we have inland container depots for improving the operational turnaround time in the ports as well. So if logistics is better, our products become more competitive, and we are now looking at a time when the trade in the world is going to a turbulent times. So improving logistics will give us a lot of integration with the markets and ensure ease of doing business, ma'am.
Right. And what are the bottlenecks that India faces?
Ma'am, the major bottleneck is that we depend on land as the major mode of travel. So that is why we are doing inland container terminals, which are doing rail aggregation, ma'am. And we are also looking through Amritkal Vision to have coastal and inland shipping, which is going to revolutionize this. We have also seen in Kerala the Vizhinjam transshipment container terminal also, ma'am. So I feel that it is important that we move away from only road reliance, but at the same time we should also try to improve our last mile connectivity and also digital tracking of the shipments and consignments, ma'am.
Very well. Tell me, there is this Kerala model of sustainable urbanization. Are you aware of it?
Ma'am, I cannot recall it at the moment, ma'am.
Never mind. If you had the chance to glance through the economic survey, it flagged in fact the issue of digital addiction. Can you tell me some economic and social costs of digital addiction?
Ma'am, the economic cost I feel is that with an increasing digital world, there's a problem of data being lost, because the data is called the next oil. So the data should actually be preserved. So one issue is that of data privacy and protection. The social issues are that the productivity is reducing. The kids are getting depressed. The fear of missing out, which is there, and the kind of anxiety and mental troubles, as well as the suicidal tendency among our teens are actually increasing. So if our youth cannot be channelized properly, it can be a big problem for our economy, ma'am.
All right. Your father has been associated with the Kerala Handicrafts Association. Recently, a tribal handicraft from Kerala received a GI tag. Are you aware?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Kannadi Paya was the product, ma'am. It is made by a tribal community out of reed bamboo, ma'am. So this has got the GI tag, ma'am.
Since you've studied anthropology, there was a cube-shaped skull discovered recently in Mexico. Are you aware?
No, ma'am. I'll have to read up about it, ma'am.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much, Lieutenant Commander Surya. Your interview is over. You may go now.
Thank you, sir. Wish you a good exam. Thank you, ma'am.
Sit down, Surya. When is your interview, Surya?
It's the 18th of February.
18th of February.
Yes.
Which attempt is this?
It's the 5th, sir.
5th. And interview?
It's the first.
First interview. Okay. So how was your experience with us today?
Sir, good, sir. Very good, sir.
Okay. You see, you are an excellent candidate, Surya. Number one, you have a gift of the gab, an excellent speaker, excellent orator. Communication skill is really very good. You could communicate your ideas very clearly and very confidently, which is a prerequisite for a civil servant. Now, second, let me talk about your plus points, then we'll discuss other issues. Second thing is that you are a very energetic person, always bubbling with enthusiasm. That is very good. So a very positive person is always welcome isn't it? So you have demonstrated that quality beyond measure, no problem. So maintain that kind of your radiance when you go for the interview. That is number 2. Number 3, clarity of thought is there in you. So whatever you spoke, you knew what you were speaking about. That is a good thing. Then, as I have mentioned at the very outset, that you have been an achiever. So it will not, nobody will lose sight of this. Because working in Indian Navy for 10 years, then switching over to a corporate world, then working with big corporate entities, that itself is a huge achievement and all that. And then not stopping there, not resting there, still trying to go higher and higher in career, that is quite an inspiration. So you are going to be an inspiration for everybody. So with all that qualities, you see, 1 or 2 things, like you have worked in Navy for 10 years. A lot of questions will be there. What kind of questions? Very difficult. One question which posed you, that what are the problems faced by women officers at the workplace, particularly in Navy.
Yes.
There we asked about the institutional mechanism and all that. We thought that you would be able to explain to us, but that was not forthcoming. So such things you, because you are a woman officer, and women officer, entry to women officer was not there earlier, nor they have been getting entry. What are the problems they are facing? What are the challenges they are facing? And be honest in your statements. Don't try to cook up stories and all that. Be honest. Whatever you have experienced in life, you be forthright. Then you will be able to stand on your own. Then otherwise, it becomes difficult. That is one part of it. Second part is, and then your career graph in the Navy. You had gone for short service or short service. So normally, what is the career graph? Why combat, non-combat? You know, all those issues. So that is one issue. Second, our geopolitical shift in our strategy, particularly with reference to Navy. That is very important. Ki shift from coastal defense to blue water Navy, as we call it, isn't it? So how we are shifting from this to blue water Navy, that is one thing. Second is indigenization. It is going on in the name of Atmanirbhar Bharat. We are going in a big way. INS Vikrant is a point in, isn't it? So then we have, they may ask you questions about the destroyers, what are the destroyers and what are the, your, what do you call that, frigates and all that.
Corvettes, yes.
Then underwater submarine and all that. So what technology we have developed, what is the internationally, what technology is there and all that. So some kind of water, how we are saving our water boundaries, that is very important. Then space, cyber, that is another very big thing after Operation Sindoor and all that.
Yes, sir.
So they may ask, because we have now a coordinated defense force,
yes,
isn't it, encompassing all 3 services. How these 3 services are working in tandem. So that is one thing which may come up for discussion. So these are the general, and green Navy concept is also emerging, if you are aware. So naval issues will be there, and
yes,
it is going to take a lot of time also. I am pretty sure about that. So some questions will be, and be honest. Whatever you know, only speak. Don't speak through your hat. No speculation, no guesses. Absolutely no. Then second issue will be your own state, Kerala. Kerala, plus minus, talking about the minus because you have studied anthropology, isn't it? So there is a concept of ghost village. You must have heard
yes,
about that.
Yes.
So why it is happening? The question of migration, out migration, all these things will come up. Second issue is related to remittance. Why remittance? Kerala used to be number 1. Now it has been relegated to number 2. Why number 2 is happening? Why migration pattern is changing and all that? That you should be aware. Then landslides. Kerala of late has witnessed landslides and all that. So some questions related to that may be there.
Sir.
Trade unions are playing a very important role there. So what is the role of trade unions and the left? Why that is the only state which has still having a left government, isn't it? Reasons for that. And women-centric issues, alcoholism, all those issues may be there, because being a student of Matrilineal, you said that is only namesake matrilineal, but it is a patriarchal society. You have to justify how do you say that it's a namesake only matrilineal and patriarchal, because property, I think traditionally it was going from mother to daughters, isn't it, in Kerala? So what changes are you noticing
Yes.
now? That is.
Yes, sir.
And fourth and last thing, just by way of advice, will be your experiences of working in Bicon, your experiences of so how you maintained your pressure. Employees are under a lot of stress and pressure. So what the companies have been doing about that, and how you have witnessed and how you have handled such situations.
Sir.
If you broadly, apart from international issues, broadly these issues, in our opinion, discussions will be revolving around mostly these of the issues. And you are a wonderful speaker, and it was very nice talking to you. That is the best point. So some candidates come and they create an atmosphere of positivity, and you have done that. So you will get very good marks in the interview, no doubt about it.
Sir.
It all depends on how you have fared in the mains examination and all that. But interview will not disappoint you. It will give you you're going to get very good marks. Only be honest, stay focused, be crisp in your answers, and just leave it to the destiny.
Thank you, sir. Thank you
All
for
the
your
best
time,
from our
sir.
side. If you have any questions to ask,
Sir, that was all, sir.
all the best to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.